Everything we do is proud of.
Born to be a baker.
Growing up in the bakery, my parents started in 1987 out in Madison County.
Brian Jr. rose alongside his family's business, Ozark Natural Breads, the trade ingrained within him.
It's been a lifetime of experience.
I went to the American Institute of Baking at Kansas State in Manhattan, Kansas, and finished my baking science degree. Basically, my degree would be to run a big factory, but it didn't have the artisan French pastry and artisan bread and baguette, the hands-on, really artisan artistry of creating those products.
A skill set he learned on the countryside in Normandy after his dad met a historian in France.
Introduced my dad to his award-winning baker in France. So my dad told the baker that I had just graduated with my science degree in baking, and he was like, "Send him over. He can come live with us." That's me working in their bakery when I was 22, 3 years old.
About the same age as his uncle in 1944 when he served the U.S. military in World War II.
He was the first hero of the war, the first American that they had seen since they'd been occupied by Germany. There would be French people coming to the bakery like, "Who is this American?" They knew the story. It was a cool thing, how they really did appreciate what my uncle had done.
Captain Robert Kramer, who would go down in history as a hero.
His plane was shot down in August of 1944.
He broke formation, saw something weird down from however many thousand feet up over the countryside of Normandy, and it turned out being a German encampment hiding inside of this small town in France. And as he tried to break off, they opened fire on him, hit his plane. He was coming down over the town, and they say he stayed in and veered off because the Germans were using the village and villagers as cover.
They were a ball of fire, veered off from the camp, and then it actually went over somebody's house top and then went back. It just caught on fire and came down burning.
Long before Normandy, long before the war, Kramer was already a hero in his sister's eyes.
He was her idol. I mean, she just worshipped him. He was maybe about 8 years older than her, but the world revolved around him. And when he died, it was pretty traumatic for her.
He'd only heard the stories, his mother's memories, a graveside visit for her 70th birthday, until the early 2000s when a letter arrived from a historian. A monument was going up in his name.
I flew over and was there their guest of honor, basically. Everywhere you went, people were thankful, and I was their celebrity.
The historian introduced him to someone who had seen it all, and together they went to the place where it happened.
That was unbelievable. That's what he was saying with tears in his eyes. It was for my freedom. When he was interned in a German camp, when he saw it.
It was closure for his mom knowing her big brother didn't die in vain.
To know that that's where his life ended, but the fact that he did it to save other people.
The crash site sat just 20 minutes from Brian Jr.'s apprenticeship with the historian's baker.
Life has an interesting way of tying everything together. Something that happened 80 to 100 years ago, now still having impacts on people's life that far down the line. Because I would have not apprenticeshiped in France. We wouldn't have this wholesale artisan bakery that's cranking out beautiful, amazing products.
Ozark Natural Bread's crew, a baker's dozen by now.
I have an awesome French baker that found me because of our French pastries.
J'adorais les croissants, j'adorais la baguette.
He said, "These are the only ones I've found in America as good as the ones back home in France."
Délicieux.
Kramer has a son and several grandkids he never got the chance to meet.
This is a piece of the plane. It melted, and they dug it up about maybe 10 years ago. I mean, that's just like a really connection to him.
A piece of history that will be told time and time again.
When we were there, they said, lest we forget. They don't want to forget.
It seems there's a bun in the oven. And just like his father before him, Brian Jr. will raise his son to know the story of the great-great-uncle who saved a city. And who knows, maybe he'll be born to bake too.